Shalom friends, Aaron here again. Just want to tell you some other crazy stuff. I don't watch TV. I'll tell you over and over again, I don't watch TV, and neither should you. But I do pay attention to some people who share what is on TV, and every once in a while I'll kind of check out a video that has the lineup of all the new Netflix shows coming out. And so I can tell you that I am certain, even though I've never watched a single one of them, that there are lots of TV shows, Netflix shows, cable shows, movies, cartoons that portray cannibalism. Lots and lots of cannibalism. Not to mention zombies, which are essentially undead cannibals, right? Lots of that. And if you're a student of history, which I am, you know that cannibalism, not just in the backwards tribes in the middle of the jungle and stuff, but, more modern history, right now history. Cannibalism is a real deal. Drinking of blood and other disgusting things that people do. There was an article about people taking the platelets of young people and injecting it in themselves because it's like the fountain of youth. There's people out there who identify as vampires, and we should understand that that's what they are, because they identify as vampires and they actually get blood from willing sources and consume the blood because they believe that's how they get their energy and that they won't be okay without it. Search for that. It's out there. It's real stuff. Real stuff. Really out there. On one video I was watching, some of the comments I like to read. Somebody commented a little bit about the the high supposed sulfur around Wuhan, dirtying up the air. And then you got somebody like Mike Morales, who has a great channel talking about weather warfare, and he goes over all kinds of crazy stuff in the news articles and things. Mike's a good guy as far as I can tell. His wife Shelly was just in a car accident recently, and Mike, if by any chance you ever watch any of my videos, still praying for your wife and you, my friend, to be well after your hospital stay with your wife there. Anyhow, Mike has shown how the air in that area is always filthy. It's always been filthy. Now, one interesting point is people say with everything shut down, the manufacturing shut down, maybe they shouldn't have all that sulfur. I don't know what they're doing. Are they burning bodies? Is that what that's from? I don't know. But again, I've shared it in a couple of videos now. The Chinese government murders a lot of people, and has been murdering a lot of people, and it's been documented since the 80s at least. And they cremate a lot of those people they murder. So there you go. But one of these comments, somebody said something about checking out alkaline hydrolysis. And I will say that I have read about alkaline hydrolysis in the past, but I know a lot more about it now. And I was just kind of piqued my interest because I said, I've looked into that before. Let me go back to that and just kind of check it out and see what's going on with this water cremation now. So for quite a while, people have been water cremating their pets. And I read there's from Wikipedia, read from other places. This is just kind of give me some quick points. You can look into it yourself. There's lots to read about it if you're interested. The process based on alkaline hydrolysis for body disposal, you take a body placed in a pressure vessel. My nose is really itching right now. I'm not picking my nose. It's just really itchy. The body has to be placed in a pressure vessel filled with a mixture of water and potassium hydroxide, heated to either about 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 to 6 hours, or maybe even as low as 208 degrees Fahrenheit for 14 to 16 hours. At the beginning of the process, the mixture is strongly basic with a pH level of approximately 14. pH drops down to 11 by the end, depending on how much fat's in the body, blah, blah, blah. So they've been using this process to dispose of people's pets for a while. There have been people talking about using this alkaline hydrolysis to actually make feed for animals. And the reason is the result, and I'm not going to read the whole thing just yet, but I'm just going to tell you what you end up with in the liquid that's left over at the end. Amino acids, peptides, sugars, and salts. You don't have to look up sugars and salts, but just look up amino acids and peptides if you like. These are essentially food ingredients. I mean, this is our fats and our proteins being broken down to their, to really small particles, small elements, essentially. I'm at a loss for the word that I wanted to use there. It's late. Yeah. Amino acids, peptides, sugars, and salts. Just look up peptides in foods and where the peptides come from and foods that are high in peptides, and look up amino acids and sugars and salts, obviously. That's all stuff that can be used for nourishment without actually eating someone. It's liquid. Now, why am I bringing up this ridiculous, right? I mean, I've read a lot about, oh man. People have speculated over the years about eating people, taking the old or the people who are dead or have been assisted suicided or whatever, and turning them into nourishment for everybody else to fight, that we're going to have 10 million people and the Earth's going to be overwhelmed and we're not going to be able to feed people and it's going to be an epidemic. We're not going to have enough food, and so, maybe we should eat people. There are actual serious discussions going on about consuming people in some form to nourish the planet, to nourish the people on the earth. There is a meal replacement liquid called Soylent, the origin of which, I remember watching this guy right in the beginning when he came out some time ago. 2013, a software engineer, Rob Reinhart, he got 35 chemical ingredients, including potassium gluconate, calcium carbonate, monosodium phosphate, maltodextrin, olive oil. All of the things he seemed to be deeming necessary for survival based on readings of biochemistry textbooks and U.S. government websites. He viewed food as a time-consuming hassle and resolved to treat it as just an engineering problem. And he blended his ingredients with water and consumed only this drink for the next 30 days. And over the next 2 months, he adjusted the proportions of the ingredients to counter various health issues that he was having and further refined the formula. He claimed a host of health benefits from the drink and noted that it had greatly reduced his monthly food bill, and also the time he spent preparing and consuming food. And that provided him also greater control of his nutrition. So, he says that he named his product Soylent after a food in Harry Harrison's 1966 science fiction novel, Make Room, Make Room. And in that novel, most types of Soylent are made from soy and lentils. This also does make mention of the fact that Soylent evokes the 1973 film Soylent Green, starring Charlton Heston. And in Soylent Green, was about turning people into green liquid to feed an overpopulated world. And this guy Reinhardt actually says that he chose the name with its morbid associations to pique curiosity and deeper investigation. That's what he says. Soylent. Sure, you can believe that if you want. That's a pretty dumb reason to name something Soylent, but there it is, in my opinion. Back to alkaline hydrolysis body disposal. also known as aquamation, biocremation, resumation, flameless cremation, or water cremation. A process for the disposal of human and pet remains using lye and heat. The process is being marketed as an alternative to the traditional options of burial or cremation. As far as I know, people can't do this here in our country because morticians can't get burial certificates for the people that they water cremate. Anyway, the result of water cremation is a green-brown tinted liquid containing amino acids, peptides, sugars, and salts. Also, soft, porous white bone remains that can easily be crushed in the hand. All of it is calcium phosphate. That's all that's left. But they use a cremulator, and it forms a white-colored dust. That ash, just from the bones, can be returned to the next of kin of the deceased. And they say that the liquid is disposed of either through the sanitary sewer system. They dispose of your liquid in the sewer, the sanitary sewer system, or through some other method, including the use in a garden or a green space. So you get the bones, you don't get the amino acid, peptide, sugar, salt, green, Soylent green liquid. Okay. It's hard to think about making this stuff up, but you can think about that what you will. I just found that pretty interesting and wanted to share it with you. The reality of our world truly is much stranger than fiction. Does art imitate life, or does life imitate art? Art. Horror movies and zombie movies and movies about murdering and drug use and promiscuity and zombies, cannibalism. Shalom, friends. Until next time.